1-800-449-8686. Now, Bill Henry.
Jay Santos joins us with the Citizens Auxiliary Police. So we have the debates coming up on Thursday night, and the entire country, it seems, is in anticipation of these debates. They may be the most watched presidential debates in history, and certainly the voter registration is up.
I was going to say, Phil, voter registration is way up from what we've been seeing. So it's and certainly with the debates coming up on Thursday night, any high-profile event is always something you look at for terrorist strikes.
Now, the debates are going to be held in Miami, so the threat would be localized, correct?
Well, that is not necessarily our experience. Our experience is that terrorists would most likely strike in any non-specific area, and the reason is fairly obvious. Terrorists will strike to confuse the American people at the time of the debate so they can't keep their mind focused on the issues being discussed. And in the mind of the terrorist, of course, they will then cast an uninformed ballot. One of the things that's kind of tough for me in law enforcement is I'm personally going to vote for Senator Kerry, knowing, personally, I'm speaking between you and I, that a terrorist strike would most likely help Senator Kerry get elected, but I still have to do my job as law enforcement. And
well, I would hope that no matter what a police officer's political persuasion is.
Well, that's it exactly.
I know. I want people to be clear. You're the head of the Citizens Auxiliary Police. This is a volunteer neighborhood patrol of some kind?
Well, no, we are uniformed. I think that sort of oversimplifies it. We are uniformed. We have citizens arrest powers. And the police have, in the past, I think we have all seen that the police do have problems maintaining credibility. Some of these reports of police abuse and what have you. So we felt it necessary to form a group that monitors the police activity, make sure the job's getting done right.
Well, what are you going to be focusing on primarily then? Well,
the first thing that anyone will tell you, from Tom Ridge's office all the way on down the line to our field subcommanders to substation commandants, you look for anything that presents itself as a target. Anything that's overt and inviting someone with a terrorist mindset. So our flare drops, you and I were talking about, Phil, are designed to funnel traffic down to one lane. Our subcommanders then do a once-over look at the car and the occupants. And
now these flare drops, you drop flares that gradually funnels the traffic down from 3 or 4 lanes?
Yeah, right, all the way down to one lane. And then at that time, we just do a very quick once-over of the car. We're not taking up people's time. Anything that what we're looking for, Phil, is a terrorist target. That can be an American flag decal, which is very much a target. Certainly American flags that are flown from windows present a target. You often see a Marine Corps decal on certain cars. License plate frames prevent drivers being a veteran of someone involved POW-MIA question.
So you're looking for cars that have American flag decals, this kind of things, that bespeak things that are fairly patriotic then?
Well, these are people, yes, that are, patriotic. Don't misunderstand me. I believe in patriotism. I think it has its place. I also think it's prudent at this time that during the week of the debates that we don't present these kinds of provocations. So that's what we're going to be doing. And
all right. Well, if you're going to be looking at cars with American flag decals, Marine Corps decals, American flags, anything that might provoke terrorists, if you see that, what are you doing exactly? Are you asking the people to remove it, or? Well,
what we're suggesting is we take a peek around the car. If we do see something like that, we do at that time request that the item do be discarded. We do have receptacles at the site. If it's a decal, like a flag or a Marine Corps decal, it's not a problem. We have use very small, light razor blade, can lift the decal off the car body or window without any damage, and then you're free to go on your way.
So you're going to be peeling the decals and taking the flags?
That is correct, yes, sir.
A lot of people are probably going to be curious, would a terrorist attack a car with a flag?
No, what the terrorists do is, we have heard a lot of chatter that seems to indicate that terrorists would most likely strike in areas where there's a very high concentration of individuals who are possible George Bush supporters, and those would be people who tend to fly American flags in their car and so on. And that might be an area where they might strike. If they do see a high concentration of these flags and decals and whatnot and so on, well, then that, of course, gives us an indication that that might be an area.
Given the fact that you're not an official police agency, but a volunteer group, many people may not want you to, take the decal off the car. You're talking about taking a razor blade and lifting off a decal.
No, it's completely non-invasive. There's no damage to the car, and you make the point about us being auxiliary. This is a national security. We are a volunteer neighborhood. We're the Citizens Auxiliary Police. This national security, as such, it does preempt auxiliary status.
But you're not an actual police agency.
Well, but again, I want to repeat. National security preempts auxiliary status. We go around-the-clock flare drop. There's too much chatter right now for us not to be prudent at this time.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police, a volunteer neighborhood police group, and there are a number of these around the country.
That is correct. And these auxiliary groups will be doing their own flare drops prior to the debates.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. If you have a flag decal on your car, if you have a Marine Corps decal on your car, I've seen these, as you mentioned, Jay, these license plate frames that say I'm a POW supporter.
Well, some of these guys, you see, they have the license plate, for instance, I'm a veteran. And from my law enforcement status, and based on the chatter we've been hearing, and Tom Ridges spoke about, you put a license plate frame on your car that says I'm a veteran, and you're almost saying to a terrorist, would you please blow my car up with a rocket-propelled grenade? I mean,
see, that's the thing. I don't want people to get the idea.
Well, no, I don't want anyone to get scared, but you got to understand, in these times where there are terrorists, I think it makes sense, if you think about it, you drive around with a license plate frame that says I'm a veteran or God bless America, and you're basically saying to any terrorist in the vicinity or any terrorist that we've been monitoring on a subspace chatter, would you please just blow me up or what have you? And certainly we don't want to see that happen.
All right, 1-800-449-8686, the Phil Hendry Show here. Now, you're talking about this chatter that we hear so much about.
That's correct.
I hear the president, or I hear a lot of people say, well, the chatter, we've heard the FBI uses this term, chatter. What does that mean? I mean, in my mind, it's like, is it cell phone or radio transmissions?
Well, it can be. Chatter that the Homeland Security Office is referring to is simply what station chiefs and station operatives may overhear in a restaurant. We're talking about CIA. So we are talking about the company, and we are talking about what they may overhear in a restaurant or in some of the public meeting rooms in the Middle East. You could be in a hotel having a drink, and you may overhear a conversation, sharing a drink with something, or you may be, a lot of times, it's almost like something out of a movie, but it does happen. You might be buying a rug or a turban or something you're a tourist in one of those Middle East marketplaces, and you hear one of these guys talk about, well, it'll blow somebody up or some deal. So that's kind of the chatter that you hear. And
so this is human beings overhearing this?
That's correct. These are deep cover operatives who may be, as I say, pretending like they're a business person, for instance. They're at a party at an embassy, or they are out having a drink with a lovely lady, and perhaps she is the press liaison for a foreign embassy, or perhaps they're what have you. Like I said, they're standing there in one of those deals. My wife went to Egypt with her church group about 3 years ago, and they went down to this place you could buy these rugs and all this kind of deal. And you hear one of these guys, and I don't know if you've ever seen one of these movies, Effendi, the infidel is coming, or some deal like that. Well, you pick up a lot of things from what these here people say, and that's the kind of chatter.
So it's just stuff that's overheard in restaurants and bars and
some of the radio transmissions, exactly. And what we're hearing right now, again, I don't want to make any of your listeners afraid or nothing like that, but we are hearing that there are terrorists who are very interested in some sort of a large event. They will target areas that have a high patriotic concentration, if you will. So if there is an area of the country where you do see a lot of these American flag flying from a car deal, or you see these American flag decal kind of situation, or you see the Marine Corps, anything that...
what are these, like police benevolent...
Anything like that. We advise you to remove it from your car, and certainly our flare drops, we will remove it from the car.
Well, there are people who may not want you to do that, is what I'm saying.
Well, in what way?
I mean, if I'm a guy and I got a Marine Corps decal on my truck, let's say, and I don't want you to take it off, and you got a razor blade ready to peel my Marine Corps decal off, because you're not, what I'm saying, you're not an official police agency.
Well, we're talking about national security. We're trying to save lives. You want to get into kind of nitpicking, well, do you have the authority? That's like asking, do you have the authority to go into a home that's burning to the ground and get a baby out? I could go into a home, burn to the ground, get a baby out, and you might ask, what authority do I have? We're simply doing this.
Yeah, but what if they object? I'm giving you the straight...
Well, if they object, it's basically for their own protection from the terrorists and that kind of situation. But if they object, then that kind of takes it to another level, and certainly we do have to deal with that.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos with the Citizens Auxiliary Police. a volunteer neighborhood police patrol. They say they are sort of picking up where the police may blow it or may not be doing their job right. In any event, with the debates coming up, the country may be prone to some kind of a terror event. They are peeling off any kind of American flag decal, any kind of Marine Corps sticker. I'm sure you see U.S. Army, whatever, anything that bespeaks a sort of Americanism. They are removing from cars that they're stopping at a variety of flare drops that they're doing. And the flare drop is basically did he tell you, Chris, what a flare drop, how they do that? They just drop the flare from a truck and then they funnel everything down to one lane. 1-800-449-8686. How willing are you to, give up your American flag decal or your Marine Corps decal to protect your city? 1-800-449-8686, or your country for that matter. You're listening to the world-famous Phil Hendry Show.
The Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686. Taking talk radio to the next level. Phil Hendry Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
I'm here with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police as we talk about the flare drops they're going to be doing to try and remove high-profile terrorist targets, and that is American flag decals, Marine Corps decals, anything that bespeaks anything really overtly American from cars. They're going to be taking off of cars. You know who this Jennifer Keese is? Jay, do you know that name, Jennifer Keese?
I certainly do so.
Okay, she said that you had stopped her car and took a Bush Cheney bumper sticker.
No, I'm very much familiar with Miss Keese, yes.
Okay, why did you take a Bush Cheney bumper sticker off her car?
Because, Phil, the Bush Cheney bumper sticker is a red, white, and blue bumper sticker. As such, it replicates the color and the look of the flag, especially when looked at from a distance. And we did, at that time, then decide and perceive that it was a terrorist target. So, not that we have anything against Bush or Cheney, but we do have to remove those bumper stickers because they have...
Well, she said that you removed it with a razor blade, and it wasn't a very good job.
Well, look, I don't work for Earl Scheib Auto Body. Yeah, I'm not doing all that specialized work. I'm trying to tell you, we're trying to keep people alive. So you want to get specialized work, you got to take it over to Earl Scheib Paint and Body, what have you. But
well, she said you peeled the bumper sticker off and left half of it on there.
That is correct, sir, but we did not damage the car. That's what I'm saying. We do not damage the car. We basically peeled it off, and we'll let her go on her way.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Robert, you're on the Phil Hendry Show. Go ahead. Robert?
Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
I'll tell you what, this guy here, he goes around peeling flags, American flags off of people's vehicles. Somebody's going to beat the tar out of him. I know I would if he tried to take my flag off or tried to...
Well, sir, I certainly don't want to cause any kind of a confrontation with a citizen. What we are trying to do is protect the lives of citizens by making sure...
How do you call that protection when you're taking our rights away from us? I'm a veteran, bud.
Yes, sir.
And I proudly got a license tag, a veteran's tag, and I proudly display that. Now, how do you figure you're protecting me by trying to take that off? That sounds like some kind of a socialist thing.
Well, sir, I'm not. First of all, what were you a veteran of what, sir?
I was in the U.S. Army.
Did you see action, sir?
Yeah. Well, I can't discuss that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sure. This guy's a nut.
Well, what do you say he's a nut?
Well, I can't discuss that.
I was in the 1st 75th Ranger Battalion. That's all I can really tell you.
Well, you can tell you we could make it up. Say you're like in Russia or some deal like that. Yeah,
no, sir, I was in South America.
He wasn't in Russia. First of all, Robert, I want to ask you, you are a veteran. You have what? Do you have an Army sticker, a veteran sticker, or something like that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Robert, all I'm trying to do is you survived combat to come back to this wonderful country of ours. Now, why do you want to drive around basically with a big sticker on saying, hi, if you're a terrorist, please put C4 under my engine block? I mean, because that's, well, you can laugh at that if you want to.
You're funny because
why do you think
it's going to happen? You're a nut.
You are asking terrorists all over the world to come to the United States at a time when we are having our debates, blow something up or cause all kinds of, this kind of nonsense. And the next thing you know, people can't concentrate on the debates. They cast an uninformed vote.
Dude, you sound like a
and then John Kerry
like a wannabe cop.
Sure.
That's going around trying to do. You sound like a socialist.
All right, you need to back.
This is the United States of America.
You may have survived.
We fought for our freedom to fly our flags on our cars, on our homes.
Sir, why would you want to keep the detail on your
balls like you trying to take them off?
So you need to back up just a step. You need to back up a step here now.
Why would you? The disguise of it's for national.
Why would you have survived combat only to come back here to America, keep a decal on your car, and force me to take it to the next level? And I don't want to do that.
You ain't going to do it. That's what I'm telling you. You're going to get the.
What do you mean?
Get pummeled. You try to take my
Jay, what do you mean take it to the
off of my or my license tag off of my vehicle? I'm going to pummel you,
sir. You need to back up 2 steps. Keep your hands off of me, and let's talk about this. Now,
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the facts.
If you think,
I know there's probably millions of Americans that feel as passionate as I do.
The problem is, if I could jump in, is that you don't have the legal authority, Jay.
Mr. Randall, you have said that over and over. You are wrong. I have citizens arrest power. I also have national security.
I got citizens arrest power.
Well, I'm not doing nothing wrong. You can arrest me for it.
If you touch my vehicle.
Okay. You want to take it to the next level? Well, there's an easy way and a hard way.
Yeah, the hard way is going to be if you try to take my flags off my vehicle or my license tag, you're going to end up in the hospital. You're going to have the hard way done to you, my friend.
All right, Robert, thank you for your call.
See, these threats
Robert, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686.
First of all, that gentleman sounds as if he is native of the southeastern portion of our country. More as likely as not, he has a Confederate flag on his car, not an American flag, and as such, would not be the target of a vehicle implosion. But he's sounding like he's all upset about this and that and something else. And I'm saying that we are simply going to try and protect cars and the lives of human beings the best way we can.
Because he has a Confederate flag, the terrorists won't attack?
Well, I'm just saying it's not a symbol of terrorists. A lot of these, these ragheads, what do you want to call them? I don't think they even know what that is.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Scott, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Yes, how you doing? I appreciate you taking me.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I want to really say is taking decals off of patriotic symbols will not stop anything whatsoever. If they want to pick a specific target, they're going to hit that target, regardless of what you do.
What about the chatter? We've been hearing chatter. We've been hearing chatter.
You're hearing chatter?
Yes, sir. There is chatter at the Homeland Security level. There's chatter at the CIA level to indicate that they do want a terrorist strike of some kind. It could happen during the debate season, and that they would strike a high concentration of so-called Bush supporters, patriot supporters. And you see these guys driving around, they got all kind of flag and everything. All they're saying is, I'm an American, and I hope you kill me before I get home to my children. We don't want that to happen.
Of course we don't want that to happen, but you got to just keep in mind that the chatter, the propaganda that people are listening to, I'm going to say it, reiterate it, when the terrorists want to strike, when someone wants to kill you, they're going to kill you. Well, they're not going to decide not to kill you because you don't, he doesn't have an American flag. You're still in America. What difference does it make?
Well, they're more prone to leave you alone if you don't have a sticker of some kind. The chatter is what I'm talking about, Scott.
You talking about stuff that they're hearing on the line? So you're telling me they're actually hearing people?
Hey, Scott, tell you what, hold the line for a minute. This is Phil Hendry. We'll be right back with Jay Santos and the rest of your calls. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendry Show.
One 1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendry Show is back.
Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police is with us. Jay is talking with us about doing flare drops. Describe again a flare drop and the fact that you are taking American flag stickers, American flags off of cars, because during this debate season we could have a terrorist strike, and those would be a likely target.
Correct, Phil. Basically, our flare drop is Subcommander Paulson and Subcommander Robinson went out last night and gradually just dropped flares from the back of a flatbed truck that we borrowed from his wife. Or that was actually borrowed from Subcommander Robinson's wife. And Subcommander Paulson sat in the back of the flatbed truck and just dropped the flares, and then we funneled traffic down to one lane. We're out right now, as a matter of fact. So we've got up to 25 different flare drop locations here in this area, and we're planning a few more around the country. Basically, what we're asking people to do, and I understand that people feel that this is repressive, but I think if they understand the meaning of it, why make yourself a target for terrorists or some nonsense like that? You put a bumper sticker on your car. Bush Cheney they do use red, white, and blue. We have nothing against President Bush. We don't think that he's going to be a bad president, but we do feel that the use of the red, white, and blue color.
But you're not taking off Kerry stickers.
What's that, Phil?
You're not taking off John Kerry stickers.
They do not use that color arrangement. Come on, have a nice evening then. See, people are letting us peel stickers off their cars, and I had a lady shake my hand when I explained to her that she had a van full of children. She was going home, taking her children home, cook them a hot meal, a bowl of soup or some deal like that. I said, do you want to have these children be endangered by terrorism? And she said, certainly not. I said, well, we would like you to remove that sticker. We did take a sticker off. A lot of these stickers, my kid is an honor student, that kind of thing. That's also something that will provoke a terrorist into wanting to just, attack you. So that's all we're doing. Hold on for a minute. And so that's what we're saying.
What is that?
Yeah, those are just, what we're basically trying to do is move the traffic along right now. Hold on. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police, not an official police agency.
Well, Phil, I really wish you would not say that because...
Well, you're not an official police agency.
But we do have the right, constitutional right of arrest, national security override.
All right, let me go over to Addie. Hi, Addie. You're on the Phil Hendry Show with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police.
I have a license plate on my car. I have it on my car. I'll also say that the gentleman doesn't have a right. He's creating a traffic hazard and is going to cause accidents. He does not have the right to touch people's cars and take any kind of sticker off.
It's
Our national anthem says, by the dawn's early light, bombs bursting inside, say truth to the night that our flag was still there. Well, our flag was still there when our nation was born, and my flag's going to be on my car. It's going to be at my business. Our family, a lot of them fly the flags, and we have the cars, and he does not have the right.
Well,
this is a nation of free. We are a free nation. We can have stickers on our cars. And if he's afraid of terrorists, then he better go find him a bomb shelter and dig in and get in, because terrorists may be coming, but the people who have backbone and courage is going to fly their flags.
I got to put her on hold. She won't. Did you have something you want to say, Jay?
Well, the woman is obviously, she's emotionally distraught, and I certainly don't want to upset her anymore. She sounds as if she may have some issues, because you could hear that she was running on a little bit. I think that most of what she's saying is typical of motorists who don't understand the California Vehicle Code or Penal Code of the United States of America. I do have the right as a citizen to stop vehicles and to check to make sure there isn't anything that could be provocative in terms of national security. And at that time, then, of course, I will, then I will let her go on her merry way.
Let me see if Addie's still. Addie, you there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we had to put you on hold because we couldn't get your attention.
I'm sorry.
You want to say that again, Jay?
Eddie, all I was saying was I need for you to calm down and to take a deep breath. I know that you probably have all kinds of nonsense on your car, and that's fine. All I'm saying is if you have that American flag bumper sticker, I'm going to have to peel it off.
You're not going to peel anything off of my car.
I have to take a razor blade to it. No, I'm afraid I do.
And sue you. I will sue you. You try to touch my car, I will sue you.
Man, this is national security. It's a national security. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take it.
A lot of people sue you.
Ma'am?
And I'll sue you for a traffic hazard, too.
Ma'am, I will. I'm going to have to take you. I've got to take your bumper sticker, and I have to take away your American flag, too.
American flag. We have the right to do this.
You
do not have the right to
Are you qualified to drive it? But
you
first of all, I got
to the right for American citizens to make arrests. You stop me and try to take anything off my car, I will make a citizen arrest of you. I will call 911 and make a citizen arrest of you.
Okay, after a while it's a little tiring. Let's move on to Stanley. Go ahead, Stanley.
See, Phil, that is an example of an overwrought individual who's just begging for a terrorist to just cut her throat and leave her in the street.
Go ahead, Stanley.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if this man attempts to scrape off my Americanism,
I need a razor.
I will
come
his ass so seriously. Right. I won't even try to arrest him. I'm just going to kick his ass.
All right, get a razor.
You ain't going to touch my car.
Stanley, better bring your lunch for that one.
I have a right to be an American. I have a right to display my Americanism. And if you even try to touch my car, your ass is grass. That's all I got to say.
Let's move that bumper sticker off that corner. Can you say something, Stanley?
All right. So Stanley's gone too. 1-800. What is that sound?
All right, we got an alert. I got a bumper sticker in lane 2. All right, we're okay.
I got to ask you.
Well, Mr. Herring, you and your listeners may find this amusing, but I can tell you right now, that lady Addie that I spoke with, the lady that wouldn't shut up, she's the kind of woman that a terrorist would just cut her throat and drop her right into the Seine River, right outside of Paris. Just be something floating down the river. People probably think it's a baguette or some deal like that. Some kind of nonsense.
1-800-449-8686. Michael, go ahead. Michael?
Hello.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So, Henry, I'm sorry, man. I was listening to what he was saying about the baguette. I was laughing to myself.
Well, you may find it funny, sir, but there's a lot of Americans who are going to be...
I think it's really silly what you're doing. I think you're in violation of civil rights, and everybody has a right to speak their mind. And
not during times of national security. No, sir, you do not. During times of national security, you have to shut up and just get off the streets.
Well, we have a right to speak and say whatever we want. How about I use my civil rights to stop you from doing whatever you're doing, because I feel you're in danger of other citizens.
I'm not trying to blow you up. How am I trying to blow you up?
No, how about I use my civil rights to arrest you or to restrain you from the threat of other citizens because of what you're doing.
All I'm doing is I'm trying to keep you from becoming about 250 pounds of hamburger.
Well, I'm trying to prevent you from getting run over by another citizen who you're trying to peel stickers off the car.
You take a
look. If you try to peel a Marine Corps sticker off,
well, let me tell you some of these jarheads. They're not as tough as they look. And, well, you say what you want, but I'll tell you this right now: a terrorist hits your car with an RPG, well aimed, shoulder mounted, from about 350 yards, and they won't even know where to begin to look for you.
Yeah, you know what I really think you are?
A minute ago, you said that the terrorists aren't targeting individual cars. Now you're saying if I've got a bumper sticker with an American flag on it on my car, a terrorist is going to take me out with an RPG? Where is this guy anyway?
So they could be anywhere. Rooftops, inside of a home, inside of another car, on a front lawn. They could look like they're watering their lawn, and they turn around and they'll hit you.
You know who I really think he is? He's just an advocate for the Kerry campaign.
All right, thank you. 1-800-449-8686. Jay, a lot of the things...
Hold on for a minute, Phil. I got a bumper sticker. See, there's a bumper sticker over there. Look at it. There it goes right under it. See? That's a bumper sticker right there. Get over and do something about it. I'm trying to get the guys organized. We got bumper stickers there, the American flag here, American flag there.
Boy, I can't believe you're finding that many American flag bumper stickers, because after the 9/11, I saw a lot of them, and they just they dried up and went away.
Well, I'm in a certain part of the city here. I'm in the North County. But I can tell you right now, Phil, you can have a terrorist try to strike you from any part of the city, be it on a front lawn, like I was saying, or walking a dog, all sense of terrorists. Say you see a woman in tight capri pants, big pink wig, all of a sudden she pulls out an RPG and blows you half to hell. Then you're going to thank me.
Yeah, man, I'll see that real soon.
Hey, did anybody think 9/11 was going to happen? No, they didn't. So if you see some chick walking down the street, and she's got on spray-on tight pants and big spike heels, she's walking a big fat poodle, all you can do is look at her butt area. Next thing you know, she turns around, she's got a shoulder-mounted stinger, take your head clean off. Then you'll thank me.
All right, I guess you're making...
Darn right I'm making a point.
Let's go over here to Robert. Hi, Robert. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Yes, Mr. Henry. The gentleman there, the police wannabe, he sounds like he's a terrorist.
Police wannabe.
He's terrifying everybody. He's frightening them. He's trying to get on people's private property, which a vehicle is a private property.
Well, first of all, sir, what I'm trying to do is protect people's lives from getting blown up.
By terrorizing them, by frightening them, by scaring them, saying that they're targeted because they have a disabled veterans tag on their car, or a flag, or a Marine sticker. What you're doing is you're terrifying.
Is anybody listening to anybody tonight, or should we even be doing a show? Robert, are you there?
Yeah.
Are you guys listening to each other?
He's doing his talking.
You're both talking, and nobody's having a conversation on this show. So what are we going to do? Are we going to talk, or are we not going to talk?
Look, this guy has got it all wrong. Number one, John Kerry said we're not safe, and I'm voting for Kerry.
Well,
okay?
that's
so I don't
fine.
know what kind of a dream world you're living in.
We are not talking about who's voting
Well, you guys quit talking over each other.
We're not talking about who's voting for who. You are talking about damaging people's private property.
No, I'm saying that I want to razor blade a sticker off of the rear window of your car.
That is damaging private property. You are terrifying the individual.
Well, what are you going to have a cow for it, man? I mean, come on, what, are you having a cow?
No, I'm not having a cow. I'm just saying that you are a terrorist. You are terrifying people.
What? Buddy, you know something? A terrorist is one of these guys with a beard and a rag on his head.
No,
it's going to fly a plane into a building.
A terrorist can be anybody that frightens people, that terrifies them, and that's what you're doing. You're terrifying people. You're saying, okay, if you have a flag or if you were a veteran, you are targeted, and that's wrong. Those people in the towers did not have flags flying from their windows, and they got targeted.
Wait a second. They were in an American Airlines. Get it?
No, I'm talking about the towers. I'm not talking about the airplane.
Yeah. American Airlines. I got you.
For yourself.
I got you. No, I twisted you around.
No, you twisted yourself around.
Put me in a spaz. You're having a cow and you're going bananas.
No, see, then you start insulting people.
No, but you're just acting like a spaz.
No, I'm not.
Well, sure.
You're a terrorist. You're terrifying people.
How you figure I'm a terrorist?
You're terrifying
You're
people.
sitting over there having a cow.
Will you knock it off with having a cow?
Organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers,
or the Citizens Auxiliary Police.
The stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state law.
Hey, dude, you're being a real geek. Why don't you mellow out and get your groove on, man? You savvy?
That's all you can do is terrify people and insult them, right?
Quit being goofy, a turkey. Savvy?
Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry Show. 1-800-449-8686.
I do the splits over an egg, then I do a somersault into an open watermelon.
The Phil Hendry Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
We want to thank Jay Santos, and we hope that he is able to do his flare drop without getting his ass kicked, as I heard his life being threatened at least 3 or 4 times during that segment. This is the Phil Hendry Show. Coming up, a flashback with Margaret Gray from yesterday's show. She heard Senator Kerry disrespected by a person in a department store. The person said that Senator Kerry looks like he has a pole up his rear end. He fell asleep.
1-800-449-8686.
Do we have the line from New York? Okay. Later on, we have Lloyd Bonafide with us. And right now, Margaret Gray with her campaign 2004 report and things heating up along the campaign trail. Huh, Margaret?
Yeah, Phil, I was over at Josh Bennett's today, which is a department store here in New York City, because I wanted to get myself a pashmina. It's getting a little bit cold here in New York. And there was this individual at one of the perfume counters, and she looked like she was probably a tourist or something, and I overheard her say to the young lady that was helping her, and I'm going to use some language here that I hope your listeners don't find offensive, but I heard this woman say, and I don't know if you...
Well, that's okay. You can, I think we're if you have children who are sensitive, I know what the word is, and it's not that bad.
She said to the girl that was helping her that Senator Kerry looked like he had a pole up his ass, and I'm sure she thought that she was being very funny. And it shows a lot of people just how this kind of graphic language spreads so much hate. This tourist says that she thinks Senator Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass. And the woman that was helping me sort of stopped and looked at me, and I sort of stopped. And the first thing I asked her was, are you going to let that happen? And so she said something to her manager, and basically, to make a long story short, the woman was escorted out of the store. And
well, how did you get the store to do that?
I do a lot of business with them. The people at Josh Bennett, they know us. We bring a lot of trade in there.
No, but I mean, what is wrong? I mean, the woman was expressing, albeit very crudely, a point of view.
I understand that it's an opinion, but as a nation, we have come further than that. It was really offensive, and I told her so as she was leaving. I told her it was very offensive. And really, Phil, I'm on your program tonight, I think, to ask your listeners, and my column's going to deal with this tomorrow morning, that we have come too far in this country to let bigotry touch us now and to touch our national campaign. We've made a good effort at wiping bigotry and hate speech from our social order, but we've obviously not done a good enough job.
Now, hold on for a minute here, because bigotry, as I understand bigotry, it's a predisposition it's a predisposition against somebody based solely on what may be their religion or race, regardless of the quality of the person.
Absolutely. And I think what you're dealing with here in Senator Kerry's case, there is a bigotry against him, and there's a bias against him that is hateful. And to say in public, that guy Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass, is not only offensive, it is bigoted. And we've been teaching in our schools, and certainly there have been many programs on public television, NPR, about really the offensiveness of everything. And Kerry, to say that Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass is this kind of hate speech run amok.
All right, but look, I've heard President Bush referred to as a guy who has a smirk on his face.
Absolutely.
And that he's stupid, that he's a fumbling idiot. And then, of course, I hear other people say he's actually just acting, he's phony. I've heard him called names.
Well, but in President Bush's case, and here's something that I need to educate you and your listeners on. We're really talking there about character, which is a keystone topic in this campaign. And
well, what do you mean by character?
Well, I think in his case, it's not the same as Senator Kerry, because Bush is president, and you have what is called presidential immunity. And what that means is he gets away with a lot more. People can say things about him, but because of presidential immunity, it doesn't really stick. There isn't the pain associated with some of these comments made about President Bush that there is made about Senator Kerry. President Bush, to me, personally, he has the look to me of a drug dealer. You know I don't support him. But he looks like someone who is engaged in something underhanded, like drug or cocaine dealing.
Well, but right there, that's just as hateful as saying Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass.
No, it's not, because...
Why?
Because the presidential immunity, you can't say things about him that is really going to hurt the way they hurt Senator Kerry.
All right, Margaret, hold on the line here, because I want to give our phone number out. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. Campaign 2004 report with Margaret Gray in New York City. Please forgive the scratchy phone connection that we have as the debates round the corner on Thursday night. We're talking what you're calling hate speech that you heard today against Senator Kerry. Is somebody in a store, a department store in New York, saying that the senator looked like he had a pole up his rear end.
And Phil, it's not just because President Bush has this kind of what is called presidential immunity. You can't say things about him that is really going to hurt the way they hurt Senator Kerry. And so if you say, you know, George Bush is stupid or something, or...
Well, you said you said that George Bush has the look of a drug dealer.
To me, he does, yes.
And that, to you, is not hate speech.
No, because he is President of the United States, he has presidential immunity. When you say that Senator Kerry looks like someone who has a pole up his rear end, that is so hateful and it's so offensive. It's obscene and profane. If I say that President Bush looks to me like a drug dealer, and he does, and you know very well, Phil, that I don't support the president.
Well, I know you don't. I know you don't, and I do. And I would say to you that sounds profane to me.
What? Why is that profane? I can say that in front of a kindergarten class, and I will not be censored for it. I can't go into a kindergarten class and say that Senator Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass. And so you say...
All right, but I would think if the worst thing that's ever been said about Senator Kerry is that he looks like he has a pole up his ass, as you heard the lady say, he's getting away with a minimum of damage.
Well, It is offensive, though, Phil. It's very, very offensive. It's hateful. And it really is the reason why I had that woman removed from women's apparel. And I'm on with you tonight to remind people not to let this happen. If you hear this kind of speech, I am saying, whether you're a Republican or whether you're a Democrat, not to let people say these things about Senator Kerry that are patently hateful and offensive. I think it's very offensive if you hear it in school, if you hear it in your workplace, if you hear it. I want people to confront the person that said it and tell them right out they're a bigot. Call a spade a spade. And I'm very serious about this.
Wait a minute. If I'm standing in that same department store and I hear a woman say, George Bush looks like a drug dealer, I cannot...
Well, you're free to do whatever you want, but I think you're overstepping your bounds to infringe on someone's free speech. I'm talking about hate speech as regards to Senator Kerry. And
if I said that President Bush looks like he has a pole up his ass...
Yes.
You're saying that's not as bad as saying Senator Kerry.
I noticed how easily you fell into the phrase President Kerry. I like that.
No, but that's what you're saying.
No, it isn't. It's nowhere near as bad, because President Bush is the president, and you are allowed to critique him because of what he's done. You see, and because he has presidential immunity as well. You have to look up presidential immunity.
All right, how are you going to monitor what people do in their lives? If they hear someone say, Kerry looks like he has a pull up his ass, how are you going to monitor that? How are you going to stop that?
Well, there are legal remedies. And
such as?
Well, there is a wonderful thing called a class action lawsuit, which can be filed against taxpayers for this kind of hate speech. I don't want to hear it anymore. And to stand there in a public store, in a public place like a department store, and hear this tourist, this bumpkin, from some other city saying, that Kerry looks like he has a pole up his, his you-know-what. I could have slapped her across her stupid tourist face, but I resisted the temptation. I did what I think we all should do. I went to the store manager and I said, my name is Margaret Gray. I do an awful lot of business here. I showed them my credit card, the things that I've been doing. And I said, I want her out of here. And they hopped to it, and as well they should.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray on the line with us. She heard what she calls hate speech today. Somebody said that John Kerry looks like he has a pole up his ass, is the actual quote. If you say the same thing, though, about President Bush, he has immunity because he's president, and so it doesn't hurt as much. It's the hate speech about Senator Kerry saying these things in public that she's concerned with. 1-800-449-8686. How do you stop people? And she wants to stop people from doing it. Whether you hear it out in public, whether you hear it in your home, if you hear somebody bad talk Senator Kerry, you should say something about it and have that person removed. How do you do that? I don't know. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. We're on with Margaret Gray this evening. This is our Campaign 2004 report, and coming up next hour, don't forget Lloyd Bonafide. We'll also have a conversation with Jeff Dowder, and more ahead on The Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686.
I know women that will forgive cheating by a man for a short stack of pancakes.
8686. The Phil Hendry Show is back.
I want to be clear. You were speaking with Barbara Streisand?
I was speaking with Barbara. I actually was talking to her about a couple of different things having to do with the campaign. But I mentioned the incident. And
that you overheard this lady in Josh Bennett's department store in New York saying that Kerry looked like he had a pull up his ass.
I did. And she said to me, and Barbara is, not only just a great performer, she's also one of the clearest thinkers, and I think this country desperately needs people like Barbara Streisand because she is a humanitarian. She loves her country very much. She, I think, knows what's best for the country. And I told her I heard this man say that Kerry, or this woman, I should say, Kerry had to pull up her ass, or up his ass, excuse me, and she was shocked. She said to me that I did the right thing, that she would have done exactly the same thing, and that...
Barbara Streisand said this.
Yes. So, you see, Phil, it isn't just me. There is an entire cadre of us in the Democratic Party who want Senator Kerry to be treated fairly and not hatefully and obscenely, as if to say that a man who hopefully will be President of the United States walks around like he has a pole up his ass, I think is hateful. I really do.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Harry, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Well, I disagree with Barbara on many points. I think that, first of all, her comment about Bush looking like a drug dealer is also hateful. And,
well, my name is Margaret. It's not. My name is Margaret. It's not Bar. I was talking with Miss Streisand today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Margaret. But anyhow, I think that that's a double standard that you have. Also, people died for freedom of speech.
Well, wait a minute,
our soldiers are dying for freedom of speech.
What's wrong with saying
for you to have somebody kicked out of a store because they expressed a freedom of speech? Maybe you disagree with the content. Maybe it could have been said in a better manner.
Well, I don't understand. You say that I shouldn't be allowed to say that George Bush looks like a drug dealer. Why not? Why can't I?
Why is that any different from saying that Kerry looks like he's got a pole up his ass?
Because the comment about Senator Kerry is obscene. It intimates, I think, certain things. Homosexuality. I think it is...
Well, no, wait a minute. The idea that the comment someone's got to pull up their butt is a long-standing way of saying someone's very stiff.
I think that, first of all, President Bush deserves the criticism. And that's the thing that you need to understand, Harry. President Bush
and there are many people who would also believe that Senator Kerry deserves the criticism.
To say that he takes a pull up his rear end. Boy, that's great. Boy,
they didn't say he takes a pull up his rear end. You're the one who's putting the sexual connotations into it. The comment was that he looks like he's a stiff individual and not an average kind of a guy.
That's my understanding of a guy with a pull up his rear end.
Well, you know something? It's not mine, and I don't know where the two of you get your definitions, but to intimate that Senator Kerry takes a pull and...
No, they said he looks like...
He looks like he takes a pull.
No, that's not
what you said earlier. That's not the comment that you had the person kicked out of the store for.
No, that's what she said.
No, that's not what you said, she said. You said, she said, he looks like he's got a pole up his butt, which is what people commonly say about people who are rather rigid in their manner and maybe, can't have a good time.
Well, you know what? I've got two of you who are pro-Bush against me, anti-Bush. So how am I going to win this argument?
But the argument isn't pro-Bush, anti-Bush. The argument is your comment about
that Kerry takes a poll,
somebody out of the store for expressing freedom of speech.
Because
that's what appalls me.
No,
and I am glad I'm not a tourist in the town. I mean, you talked about this woman as being some sort of bumpkin.
She's some kind of a hick from I don't know where.
Yeah, but as I say, I'm glad I'm not a tourist. I'm calling from a cell phone in Michigan. I'm glad I'm not a tourist in whatever town you're talking about there.
Well, where are you from?
Lansing, Michigan.
Well, see, that's hardly New York, is it? And so someone like yourself comes to New York, you make a comment about Kerry taking a pull in his rear end, and the next thing you know, you're offending people. And
you're going back
in that. So I guess only people from New York can make comments about things.
Well, let me ask you this, Harry. Do you have children, Harry? Do you want to have your son or daughter standing there while this rube from God knows where says, oh, that Kerry takes a pull?
Now, first of all, you didn't say that he said he takes a pole up his ass. The comment was he looks like he has one.
Has one. That's what. Yes,
difference.
Exactly. Harry, thank you for your comment. 1-800-449-8686. Let's go over to Ken on the Phil Hendry Show. Ken, go ahead.
Yes, I just first want to say I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm a big supporter of Kerry.
Thank God. We need all of you. We need all of you we can get.
And I'm not a supporter of Bush, but I disagree with you.
Hello.
Well, Ken, your car phone's crapping out. Hold on, buddy. I'm going to put you on hold. 1-800-449-8686. Here is Arnold. Arnold, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it's just the Democrats think that everyone's picking on Kerry so much. I think the Democrats pick on Bush. It's not right. Everyone's got their free say.
Well, to say that George Bush takes a rod, I think is the most obscene. Do you want to be standing there when your name is Arnold?
Yeah, my name's Arnold.
All right, Arnold. Suppose someone says, that Arnold, he takes a pull.
No, that's not what we were talking about. You said it looks like he's got a stick up his butt. And he does walk like he's got a stick up his butt. It looks like he can't bend over.
I'm saying that is hateful to say about a prospective president of the United States.
Yeah, but did you hear what Arnold said? It ain't about anything taken. There's a distinct...
Well, what's the difference?
There's a very big difference between saying he looks like he takes as opposed to he looks like he's got.
if I say, look, if he's snobbish, that's the same thing.
As what? Taking
the same thing. He's a snob.
No. Well, it's the same thing as saying what? That he takes a poll? No, it doesn't.
No.
Yes.
I'm just saying he's too straight. He looks like he's just a pole with feet on. He walks rigid.
Again, when you say he's too straight, that has sexual connotation. And what I'm trying to say...
No, he is a man who is... All right, well, look it. Let's say that it means what you say it means. Why can't people say that about him? And you say it's okay for you to say that President Bush has the look of a drug dealer.
Because President Bush does have the look of a drug dealer. There is nothing inflexible. There is nothing that is the least bit rigid about Senator Kerry. He is fun-loving. I've been around the man. He's loose. He dances. He's quite a good dancer. Now, do you think it's fair, Arnold, to say about a man who can get out and dance,
still free
the Running Man, Cabbage Patch, everything?
I can say that you're prejudiced against Republicans. I've got
but
that
I'm not
right.
saying
this is America.
I'm not saying Republicans take a rod deep and wide.
No one said Kerry did either.
Yes, they did.
Well, all right,
they didn't.
All right, look at Arnold, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686. Angie, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show. Angie?
Yeah.
Go right ahead, ma'am.
Hey,
finally a woman.
Basically, I just wanted to say that I do not support Bush either, but as far as...
I don't understand why people are finding fault with me. They're Kerry supporters like I am.
I think people are finding fault with what your stand on Senator Kerry.
Margaret.
On saying that Senator Kerry takes one.
No, and basically you sound like a woman that's not really got her head screwed on straight, basically. You sound
I do.
A little like a...
Well...
But to me, that...
You know something, I'm not going to characterize what you sound like to me, Angie, but I could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say this. Senator Kerry could be President of the United States, and here we are on the air on the Phil Hendry Show saying, ha, 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 Senator Kerry looks like he takes one off the chin. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, number one,
you know, what they're saying is
one of the best things about living in the
They're saying, honey, Kerry looks like he takes one. You savvy?
You are free to say whatever you want to say.
Exactly. Angie, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686.
Why did you cut her off?
We're going into our break. Margaret Gray is with us. She heard a woman say in a store today that Senator Kerry looked like he had a pole up his butt, and she considers that hate speech. She had the woman removed from the store. Phil Hendry Show.
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendry Show is back.
You shopping at store? I've never heard of Josh Bennett's.
They just opened one in New York, but I've been to the one in Los Angeles, and I've been to several of them across the country. They're wonderful, and I went in to get, as I said, I went in to get a wrap, and this hick is in there, and I know that people are finding fault with me characterizing this tourist as a hick, but you automatically know who isn't a New Yorker and who is. Let me tell you who a New Yorker is. They ride the subway. That's number one. Number two, I think New Yorkers have a certain air. We have a way of, of carrying ourselves. And when this rube is in there and she says, Senator Kerry has a poll, and I won't get it.
You know, I'm a little troubled by the graphic nature of what we've been...
Phil, I'm not being graphic.
No, I know. But let's just get it away from the... Say Senator Kerry has a pull up his butt is fine. Is the saying to mean that he's a rigid guy?
Well, either way, it is hateful, disgusting, and I think is completely wrong, and to hear it from some hick, that is...
But do you understand that that's what gives people the impression that you're kind of a snob, because you say to hear it...
No, but I'm in New York City, Phil. I don't mind the American people. I love them. I've traveled all over this country. When I go to New York, I'm with my people, I guess is the best way I can put it. When I go to New York City, I'm finally in the bosom of a culture that understands me and I understand it. And in the middle of that, in the middle of a beautiful New York afternoon, to hear this tourist, you know, that Senator Kerry, you know, all of a sudden it's as if someone came up and hit you with a sledgehammer. I wanted to be sick all over myself.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Here's Becky. Becky, go ahead.
This is Becky in Indiana.
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead. You're on the Phil Hendry Show.
Mrs. Great, you know, you're no different than anybody else in the United States. I'm in Indiana, and we're special, too. You know what? And the problem is that you're the one that made it look like a sexual innuendo. The woman has the right to make her point or make her comment. You're the one that was eavesdropping when she was having her conversation. If you choose to feel that way, that's your problem. That's not what she was saying. The woman saying it's a man is rigid, and that's what she's saying. You're the one that's changing it.
Well, first of all, I wasn't going to eavesdrop. I heard the name. She said, you know, that's Senator Kerry, and I leaned in a little bit to hear what
that's eavesdropping, I would say.
Well,
she has the right to say what she wants wherever she wants, Mrs.
Well, she doesn't have the right to offend.
Just like you're on the radio making, I'm a Bush supporter. I think he's a great man, and you're sitting there saying he's a drug dealer. You're insulting yourself, Mrs. Gray.
That explains your
You're not any better than that woman sitting in New York as a tourist making that comment. The people in Indiana are great, wonderful, awesome people no matter where they are, and I think you're rude, too.
I never said anything about Indiana. You're where you are, and
I don't care whether that's anything. You're talking about how wonderful the people in New York are. The people in Indiana are wonderful. And if somebody said it here, that's their right to their opinion.
I'll tell you what,
You're the only one on the radio making big comments about it. You're the one turning it into a sexual comment.
All right, let's forget about the sex. Let's just talk about how rude.
I just want to say one of the best steakhouses I've ever been in is St. Elmo's Steakhouse in Indianapolis.
You betcha.
Oh,
it is awesome.
You know, the way you pander to your listeners, I think is wrong. I think it's off point.
What do you mean pander?
To impress her.
He talks to people like they're human beings, and all you want to do is insult people like our president, who's our sitting president.
Can I ask the host to have the woman in Indiana to shut up for a minute so that I can...
We don't use terms like shut up, okay?
No, I won't shut up. I mean, you've been talking all along.
All right, tell you what,
making
Becky,
your negative comments, and so I'm just taking my chance.
Absolutely. Becky, I want to have both of you. I want to hear both of you guys. Can you hold on, Becky? I'm going to go to a break and hang on the line, okay? We'll be right back.
Sure.
This is the Phil Hendry Show. All right, are we clear? Margaret?
Yes.
Let's keep the comments down. What I want to do is make sure that everybody is heard.
I know, but the thing that I was trying to say to you is that...
How many seconds? 20 seconds? What?
You got another one of these rubes on the line. This Indiana woman. She's not going to understand what I'm trying to say.
She is a caller from one of our affiliates. I don't know. I can't control. Listen to what she has to say.
Well, she's like that bitch that was in New York.
10 seconds.
The lady who was in... 10 seconds.
Just try to move the calls along faster. I don't want to be stuck on the line. She sounds like...
And we're back on the Phil Hendry Show. All right, I want to go to a caller's been hanging on, Becky in Indianapolis. I have Margaret on the line. I'm going to give Becky the first word. Go ahead, Becky.
Yeah, Margaret, you know what?
Yes.
You got to look in the mirror every morning, and I think you're a very rude person, and I heard your comments.
What comments?
And it's too bad because I wouldn't say those things about you.
What comments?
What we're talking about, comments that you made about President Bush and the innuendo that somebody said that Kerry looks like he's got a stick up his butt. He looks like he is stiff and rigid. You take it further than that.
I love people from
Indiana.
Very rude. I love people from Indiana. It's one of my favorite states.
I heard what you said. No, you don't.
You heard me say what?
You know what? I don't
Margaret,
believe you, and I have the right to do that.
During the break, you said some insulting.
Yes, you did.
So in other words, no, I did not, and I'm
you
going
used the B word. You used the B word.
You called her a bitch.
You did. You called me, and I heard you.
Yes, you did, because during the break you said it.
I sat here and heard you. Now that says exactly what you're about.
I did not say any
Nothing
such
else
thing.
needs to be said. You know what? I'm done because
you know what?
To this lady. She's rude. Thanks for letting me on.
I've
Talk
never
to you
let
later.
the bitch word in my... Look at that. You
know very well during the break you said that.
Did you have to tell her that?
What?
Did you have to tell her that?
I can't hear you.
Did you have to say that to her?
During the break you said it, and she... How did that lady hear that? 1-800-449-8686. Francis, go ahead.
Hi, this is Francis. Margaret, I want to tell you that I am so sorry that I have to say this to you, but you typify the snobbish New Yorker that you are.
Where are you from, dear?
I'm from California,
Oh,
and
well,
I live in one of the
explains
most beautiful places
That
in the world.
explains
And you need to stay in New York.
You know,
because people like you who have this attitude, like you actually look down your nose in a condescending way towards other Americans. The only reason why you are free to speak in this country is because of other Americans. The Americans, like people like my father, who fought, but you could look down your nose at the rest of us.
No, I don't look down my nose.
Well, you made the comment. You said that New York is a great place.
And you did use the word bitch.
I most certainly did not.
Rube. You use that word constantly, rube. Like, what are you? Are you the queen? Did somebody just die and make you queen? And you can
I come from New York City. It is a very
by saying he looks like a drug dealer, and then come off by saying that you can say that in front of a classroom of children and they'll be fine with that. That is the most disrespectful thing you can say to our president.
But you can say about him that he looks like a drug dealer, and you can't say stick up the butt in front of children.
He does not look like a drug dealer, and that is totally disrespectful. You need to go to another country or start your own.
All right, hold on.
The rules
All right,
that
Francis.
you live by
Hold
are
on.
not the rules that the rest of us live by.
You know what you look like to me,
I'm sorry,
Francis?
Margaret, but you need to
You look
move.
like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube.
I'm not a rube.
Yes, good nutrition has given you length of bone, but you're not too far removed from two generations of poor white trash.
I'm well-traveled.
Oh, how the boys found you, Francis. With all their sticky, tired fumblings in the back seats of cars, and all you wanted to do was get out, get anywhere, get all the way.
I really don't think anyone's going to be willing to take.
Oh, fly away.
Snobbish.
All right, hold on, ladies.
No, I already said the thing that I said about her being a rube. I had nothing more to say.
I am not a rube. I grew up.
You're not a well-scrubbed, hustling rube.
I am not a rube.
You grew up in Tokyo.
I grew up in Tokyo. All right, so I am not a rube or I'm not a hick. Okay.
Well, here's something that'll make you feel at home.
Tokyo is bigger than New York. Okay.
Francis, can I ask you something seriously?
More sophisticated than you, New York.
Hold on, we got it. What did you say, Margaret?
I want to ask Francis something. You're from Tokyo, correct?
I grew up in
Tokyo. When you see a mushroom cloud, does that make you feel at home? I'm just kidding. What I really want to say is...
That's as tasteless as anything I've heard ever. To say that to a caller.
What?
When you see a mushroom cloud, does it make you feel at home?
She's been going on about how Senator Kerry has a pole up his rear end.
No, you need to take a pole up your rear end.
No.
Somebody needs to stick one up your rear end so you know what it looks like.
Can I ask you something?
Okay?
Growing up in Japan, do you have Mr. Spock hair?
You know what?
I don't need to get personal.
Yeah, it's really...
I know
Francis.
lots of New Yorkers, and most of them are typical of what you're like.
Here's what's going to prove my point. What part of California are you from?
Central California, the most
there you
beautiful
go.
area.
When they come from Farm Belt land, they always put down the big city people.
I live near Santa Barbara.
Oh, well, that's real big city, Santa Barbara. What do they got?
Yeah,
you can
it
spit,
is, and you know what?
You
We're
can
not a
spit
bunch
from
of
one
hicks.
city limit to the next.
We're not a bunch of hicks out here. Okay,
just because you run out every Friday and get your Mo Howard bowl haircut doesn't mean I've got to sit here and be insulted.
Excuse me, I get my haircut in Sausalito. Do you know where that is?
Isn't that some little burg outside of that tiny little town of
It's in
San
Marin
Francisco?
County outside of San Francisco, one of the most liberal cities in the country. But you should know that.
Let me ask you something, Francis.
Are so sophisticated.
Coming from Japan, do you have good peripheral vision
You're
with that?
so sophisticated. You don't need to go into my history. I'm telling you, I am not a hick. Like you think everyone
I will
else
tell you
is.
this much. Coming from New York City, you expect a certain kind of decorum, a certain
Listen,
kind of culture.
I've worked on Wall Street,
kind of
all right? Just so you know, I'm not unfamiliar with New York.
And listen to some hick from God knows where say that Francis, not only Mo but Larry Fine both got a haircut in Sausalito, so I wouldn't be proud of that.
All right, look.
What are you proud of?
I'm proud of the fact that I will cast a vote for John Kerry, a man who I think was slandered today in a department store in New York City by some rube coming out of the holler.
Right.
Yeah,
and
all right.
You can determine who's making a... Did you just fart?
I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Fart?
I did not. I belched. I'm sorry. I had dinner. I'm sorry.
Too much.
You know what? That is unbelievable. Francis, thank you for your call.
So that's how it's going to be, huh?
You're the one that did it. You belched.
You're not going to cut me off until I explain myself.
Sorry. Yeah, I know what you had. You had Chinese for lunch. Yeah, I know your usual line. Both Mo Howard and Larry Fine got their hair cut in Sausalito, so I wouldn't be too proud of that. All right, 1-800... 1-800-449-8686. Margaret Gray's Campaign 2004 report. One of these days I'm going to listen to that woman, and I'm actually going to get some information about the bloody campaign. Coming up, Lloyd Bonafide next hour. Walter David Maynard with Halloween costume tips. What makes this segment a little different, Walter David Maynard is a maximum security prisoner at Rayford Prison in Florida. Tomorrow night, Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police and the Phil Hendry version of the Jim Rome Show. And I believe we do have that breaking news now. Bob Bakian is coming up in just a few moments. Stick around. It's the world-famous Phil Hendry Show.
Phil Hendry Show, 1-800-449-8686.